Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Red Cynicals. I am your host, your YouTube Messiah of Limited. Never duplicated Superstar Tim Vicious. Gonna go to Raw this week. Was in Buffalo, New York. And before we get into that, we're gonna switch gears, talk about last week via the SmackDown Rewind. Big highlights from last week's SmackDown. Randy and Riddle, they started out the show coming out, pretty much hyping up on how they're here, they want to see the Usos because of what happened last week. So they pretty much just said, boys, get your asses on out here. Usos come on out and they're like, ooh, look who's here on enemy territory, Us. Yeah, and y'all look all big and bad now, huh? Just wait until we whoop your ass, we take them titles. And then they talk about on how they're going to be making history, they're this, that, and the other. And then Randy just stops them dead in their tracks. Hold it right there. You want to talk... Now listen, I got nothing but love for your family and for your bloodline. But you two are nothing more but Roman's little bitches. You want to talk about history? History? For 20 years I've been doing nothing but making history. And as far as your match that you guys want, we gladly accept. And when we get in the ring, we are going to kick your ass and you are going to be beaten by the three most destructive letters in this business. RKO. After that, music number, Riddle and Orton pose. Next thing you know, Usos, they throw Riddle over the apron. Then Riddle winds up arguing with Adam Pearce, saying he wants a match with Jey Uso later in the night. Fast forward to the main event, Riddle and Uso have their match one-on-one. Riddle winds up getting the win doing a pop-up RKO, so yeah. Other big highlights from SmackDown. Naomi had a one-on-one with Rhea Ripley. Rhea wound up getting the win. Drew McIntyre had a match with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn very much so chicken shitted healed and ran off again, so Drew won via a countout, which then Adam Pearce said, you are going to have a match next week again against Drew McIntyre, this time in a lumberjack match. Personally, I'm not a fan of lumberjack matches unless you got the ring surrounded with guys. And, not just like 4 or 5 on each side of the ring. But that's just me. Madcap Moss had a match against Humberto Carrillo, which Madcap won, but seriously, somebody needs to work on this guy's sense of fashion, because now that he's not working with Corbin no more, seriously, booty shorts and suspenders are not a good look for a guy. Now, if it was Asuka or Mickie James wearing an outfit like that, fully endorse, highly encourage. Maybe somebody in management sees this and encourages somebody to wear, encourages one of the ladies to wear something like that, preferably Asuka. But either way, Ricochet wound up defending the Intercontinental Championship against Jinder Mahal. Ricochet wound up getting the win. And yeah, that's pretty much the highlight. That's all the highlights from SmackDown. Now, on a side note, did want to mention this. There was a house show over this past weekend here in Erie. And took my son to it. Not going to go into big details, but I will say this. Roman Reigns did have a match with Drew McIntyre that night, and Roman even wound up, after the match, Roman cut a promo saying that it was his first match since WrestleMania. So all the worries and the scares about his shoulder, really, they got put at ease. Got put at ease once he wound up seeing that, like, okay, so his shoulder ain't fucked up as bad as we thought it was. Alright, cool. So with that said, let's get into this week's show now. Raw, it starts out with Seth Rollins coming out wearing what looks like a blue leather or possibly even pleather tracksuit. Then asks for Cody to come on down. Then Cody comes down just as Seth's about to go and start talking to him. Cody then, engaging the people. Then Seth, don't do that to me again. Now, as I was saying, ooh, ah, you had the advantage at WrestleMania because I didn't know who I was going against. Now, you went away. You ran off while I've been here, and I am better than you. You know why? Because I was a world champion. I've been a world champion. I am the future of not just this company, but this business. Then Cody gets on there, hypes up on how he's going to be a world champion soon. Does almost like a cheap McFoley-esque pop for the great people in Buffalo. Ah, yeah. And all that jazz. And then Seth proposes a challenge to Cody saying, now I didn't know who I was going against at WrestleMania. That's why you won. But you are going to have how about this? You are saying you're up for a challenge. You and me, you go against somebody of my choosing, and I don't tell you who it is. Well, fine, I'll gladly accept. We'll get to that match later on at the main event of the night. With that said, now we get into the first match of the night. Women's tag action. Whew. Whew. Good lordy lordy. Naomi and Sasha going against Liv and Rhea, and yeah. First I mentioned the idea of possibly Asuka wearing like Daisy Dukes and suspenders, which then gets the brain going and makes the heart get all fucked up, and then we get into this match. Yeah. Sometimes it's not easy being an old hound dog. So as far as the match went, it was at a nice little start going into the break, at a nice quick pace, but it felt short. It felt like it could have gone a little longer. Personally, I would have liked if it would have went another 5, maybe 7 minutes longer, but it didn't. Either way, Naomi and Sasha, they got the win. They did like that double team knee, lung blower, ass buster type move onto Liv, or not onto Liv, onto Rhea, I should say. 1, 2, 3, that was it. Liv Morgan was knocked out on the outside. Afterwards, Rhea's then in the ring yelling and screaming at Liv, where were you? Where were you? You're my partner. You're supposed to help me. All this, that, and the other. Liv's like, oh, I'm sorry. Come on. Give me a chance, please. And Rhea's just like, And then eventually Rhea, wham! Attacks Liv, hits her with the Riptide, and then when she gets asked on why would she do such a thing? You guys don't deserve an answer. And leaves it at that. Which, fucking A, I'm cool with. And not only that, excuse me for a moment while I gloat and laugh over all the angry Liv Morgan fangirls went in an all caps rage over them losing. Okay, I'm good. Next up, we got Veer Mahan going against a local town jobber, which he completely murdered. So next up, we got Ezekiel going against Chad Gable, and this came to be because Kevin Owens was doing the KO show, which had Chad Gable as a special guest, administering a lie detector test onto Ezekiel to determine if he is lying on if he's Elias or not. And Gable, I busted out laughing because Gable looked like my history teacher my junior year of high school, and I was just like, oh my god, he just needs blonde curly hair. He looks like Mr. Coverage. What the fuck? I died laughing. But either way. Yeah, Gable, he was doing the lie detector. And I know people tweeted the shit out of it, but it really did remind me of that lie detector scene from Meet the Parents. You know, alright, so, are you saying, is your name Ezekiel? Yes. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question that I need you to lie on. Is today Tuesday? Yes. It's a lie! See, he lied! That's the truth! That's it! He's proven wrong! Well, Kevin, Told him it's a lie. We need to make a baseline. Oh, okay. You know, and Kevin, you know, God bless, I fucking said it before, Kevin Owens is a goddamn genius on the mic. Partway through it, he winds up yelling, Chad, what's going on? I'm paying you $150 I'm paying you 150 Canadian dollars to do this. Which, ooh, big spender. So yeah. Which then, you know, fast forward, end of the segment. The lie detector showed that Ezekiel was, in fact, telling the truth the whole time. But we all kind of knew that walking into it, didn't we? Either way, fast forward to the match now. Ezekiel Gabriel. Fuck! Getting my words fucked up now. See? All that shit about thinking on women. Ezekiel wound up leading the pace. It was actually, you know, I will say this. Yes, we're just gonna pull the kayfabe curtain away for a minute and actually talk real. Yes, we all know Ezekiel is really the Elias. But, gotta tell you, seeing the difference in styles compared to what he was doing as Ezekiel compared to Elias, man, I'm actually really impressed on that because it's like, okay, I'm seeing two different styles here. This guy can work. That's impressive. Not only that, I fucking like the fact he doesn't look like that nasty ass smelly hipster that was like up my block just ugh. Yeah. So the match came to an end via a disqualification when Ezekiel had like this modified looking Boston Crab like thing in on Gable, and then Otis ran in and attacked him. So yeah. So now we come to tag action, Riddle and Orton going against the Street Profits, and this came to be because of the ending from last week's Raw, where, like I said, where I talked about, where Riddle and Orton had wound up taking out the Profits after the end of their match with the Usos. So, yeah. Before we get into that, though, one big important question. How big do you think the Street Profits' carbon footprint is? Now, hear me out on this. Here's a logical reason why. Every time they come out, they always have all those plastic cups shoot out in the air. Now, chances are, they're not getting recycled. And you know those things end up in the ocean. So Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, y'all are really fucking up Mother Nature. Now, as far as this match went, nice good start with Riddle, wound up actually, nice good start with some back and forth with Riddle, slowly starting to transition into being a punching bag going into the break. Randy wound up actually, just as they were coming back from the break, it was Riddle wound up starting to get some momentum and then did a hot tag to Randy. Randy wound up getting the hot tag post-break, and then Randy picked up the pace, got some good action going. Riddle wound up coming back in, and then next thing you know, as it looks like Riddle, boom, 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 sizing up for an RKO. Next thing you know, hear the Usos music, it's like, pops up, what the fuck? Turns around, looks over, like, what's going on? What? Turns over, Dawkins then gets him, scoops him up electric chair position. Him and Ford then do a Doomsday Blockbuster onto Riddle, 1, 2, 3. That was it. Post-match, though, afterwards, they're on the mic. Now, who could have done something like that to have the Usos music play at that point in time? I don't know. But keep in mind, profits are up, and we want the smoke, all this, that, and the other. So now we come to the next match. It's a title match. Theory, Austin Theory, now just going by Theory, which, again, I get it. People want to complain about name changes or name shortenings and this, that, and the other. Again, companies looking to own the IP, the intellectual property, you know? It's like, think of it like this. With any kind of soda, you can make your brand be known as Cola. Well, you can't own the name Cola because intellectual property, anyone can be Cola. But if you're such and such cola. There you go. And then eventually people will just shorten it to whatever the name is. Like Pepsi Cola to Pepsi. Coca-Cola, Coke. Like that. It just... I'm not always a big fan of it, but it's business. And I get it. I don't like it, but I get it. Now, as far as the match went, Theory, he was leading at the start. Finn started battling back post-break. Really wound up seeing I will say this, Theory wound up popping this nasty looking neck breaker on the outside of the ring. Just boom, dropped him on it from the apron. Just heard like this real sickening kind of thud, like a kind of thud, and it was like, ooh, damn, that's ugly sounding. And you could see Finn, he was showing it, working it like, and kind of going for his arm like he was losing feeling in it, which, you know, had that happen once or twice. And match came to an end when Finn, he did an over-the-top dive onto Theory, got him back in, sized him up, was getting ready to go for the coup de grace, missed, wound up buckling, and then was like, fuck. And then Theory then wound up hitting. Theory scooped him up. Theory wound up scooping up, hit him with the A-Town, got the 1, 2, 3. That was it. So your winner and new United States champion, Theory, which then had like the B- and C squad guys all come out to congratulate him, hoist him up on their shoulders. Oh, yeah, hoorah, rah. And then Vince's music played. Then he came down. Then Theory came down, saw Vince, gave him a big hug, and then was like, all right, come on, we got to do it. Click, 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 and took a handful of selfies with Vince. So, yeah. Listen, I get some people don't like Theory. And I get the reasons why. I don't like the reasons why. I don't like what Theory did either. You know, but and I want to make sure I say this in the right way without making it sound like I'm trying to defend the guy, because I'm honest to God not. Wrestling business, the only two people I have ever seen in the wrestling business that are close to, if not as pure as the driven snow, Sami Zayn and Danhausen. Other than that, everyone's got fucking skeletons in their closet, and they've said or done shit that, you know, that would make fucking Mother Teresa roll over in her grave. You know, it is what it is. Now, again, I'm not saying I condone the Snapchat shit Theory did, but just, ugh. Don't let that be your one specific, if you're going to have that be your one reason for not liking him, okay, cool, whatever. But don't go saying, oh, he shuts his shit wrestler because of that. No, the guy can actually work, but he's a shitty person because of that. There's a huge difference, you know? Learn to separate the character from the person. Learn to separate the character from the performer. So now we come to main event of the night. Cody Rhodes going against his mystery opponent. And drum roll, please. Yes, I did my own drum roll because a certain producer named Wade didn't want to bother to spot for a drummer this week. Yes, I am mentioning you, asshole. Cody's mystery opponent, Kevin Owens. Which honestly makes sense, because it all made sense right before the match even started, because Kevin comes out, Seth's out there, and Seth's on the entryway. He introduces KO, and then KO comes out, sees Seth. Oh, they embrace, they have a great big hug, and then the commentators emphasize on how they had their tag match and on how they almost became tag champs against the Alpha Academy. Oh, it's such a lovely moment. And yeah, so that's where logically it made sense, which, again, trying to imply logic in pro wrestling, that's almost like the equivalent of trying to do a square peg in a round hole. So as far as the match went, KO, he was leading through it from start to finish, no lie. He led the pace. He led it out, straight up. Now, Seth was ringside the entire time, so let's just let this sink in for a minute. We had 3 former Ring of Honor World Champions main event Monday Night Raw. Yeah. So with that said now, this was a damn good match. I thoroughly enjoyed the fucking shit out of this. This was really damn good. KO, like I said, Owens was leading the pace. You know, in the break and post break, it was just non-stop. Match came to an end at one point when Seth was starting to argue with KO. Owens was on the outside. They started arguing and Owens like, you know what, this is your match, I'm out of here, and then walks off. So Cody won via a countout. Cody then gets up on the apron, celebrating, yay! Seth then climbs into the ring and shoves Cody over the ring ropes. And then the show ends with Cody grabbing his ankle and the ref coming over to him. Ah! And then you just hear Jerry Lawler, which, again, we got punished. Again, Corey Graves got married, and we got punished again for Jerry Lawler on commentary for it. Fuck. And then we hear Jerry yelling, oh my God, Cody's hurt! And then, it just cuts like that. Hot fucking finish, because now you got fans like, whoa, what the fuck? What happened? Was that real? Was that a shoot? Was that work? What the fuck? Oh my God! That's fucking good. That's cool, man. That's the kind of shit that they used to do back in the 90s with the Monday nights. So yeah, I'm not gonna fucking argue with that. I like a hot finish as opposed to one where it's just Cody standing up there cheering and then Seth looking like, looking all mean mugging. Like, no, that's just, no. So with that said, that is it for this week's show, folks. So please don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes when you can. Look for me on the Twitter at TimVicious. Thank you to my executive producer, Ali Ray Ben, who did provide the music for this week's show. Make sure y'all check his shit out. It's out there on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that good shit. Details are down below. Also, thank you to LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. There are a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of MMA, and a whole lot of attractive women wearing a little bit of nothing. Also, make sure you pick up some Vicious Rants apparel over whatamaneuver.net. Information is down below as well, and make sure y'all check out these cool ass cats right on that tool with Kenny Killer, ESB_IV, Diabolica RA, Sergeant Curry Pants, and Dubs in your face. And folks, like I always tell y'all, and like it says on the shirt, if you love me, great. You hate me, fuck you.